We rolling? Are we rolling?
What's up?
Are we rolling?
Intro. Okay.
Should you fight dirty in a self-defense scenario? I'm talking eye gouges, kicking people in the nuts, biting people, wet willies, whatever the flip you can think of. The answer is not usually, and we're gonna explain why. So the first problem is it's usually strategically unsound. If I'm fighting Mike and I'm winning the striking battle, that's gonna be hard. Yeah, exactly. But assuming, like, if Mike was someone that didn't know anything and I'm winning the striking battle, why would I eye poke him? Because, like, I'm already winning, and if I was winning and then I poke him in the eyes and fish hook him and then the cops show up, they'll be like, why did you blind a man that you didn't need to blind?
So I totally get where you're going with this, and it comes from people think that they can dirty fight from a deficit, and that it fills in that deficit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm losing, you're beating me up, and I can go boink, right? Or if you're beating me up and then try to use that dirty fighting, right? You didn't need it.
Yeah.
If I needed it, it probably won't help. If it would help, you probably wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
I get where you're going. It sounds funny coming from me because I'm like the dirty fighting advocate. But if you look, all my dirty fighting is framed around you also have to already know how to do your stuff, right? I can't headbutt if I don't have a good defensive posture, right? If I don't have strong legs, if I don't understand range and timing, my headbutt won't work. If I can't throw a jab, I can't throw an eye poke.
I don't even really think of headbutts as dirty fighting, but that's like a personal opinion thing.
Well, if we're talking about the context, stuff that wouldn't be allowed, the stuff that people say, like,
everything's a slightly different concept of dirty fighting.
All the best techniques are banned in sport. You know, my stuff is too deadly for sport. That's why.
Like, some people think kicks to the head, are dirty fighting. Like, there's the whole big range on what is dirty fighting. I'm talking about
booty.
I'm talking about like 100 like groin kicks, eye gouges, biting, fish hooks, like clear-cut dirty fighting.
If you don't have a delivery system that can deliver a kick to a person, you likely don't have a delivery system that can deliver a good groin kick. People will inherently go to cover up when you kick at their groin. All right? So, and if you can engage in enough trickery to land the groin kick, you know, right? I probably could have landed a good kick some other way.
Well, and my point is that even if you can land it, like if you're good enough to land it, usually don't. Because if you're good enough to land it consistently, to eye gouge someone and not immediately gets eye gouged back, because if he's a better striker than me and I go to eye gouge him, he's gonna try and eye gouge me.
That was gonna be my next point.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of times, you remind the person that we can do that.
Yes, you escalate the fight is part of the problem. Because a lot of times, like, people will say, street fights don't have rules. Yes, they flippin' do. Have you ever seen a street fight? They definitely have rules. I've seen crowds of people stand around and do nothing because everyone's obeying the rules. The moment somebody violates the rules, it's like a referee hive mind, and they all move in because someone's breaking the rules.
They might be unwritten rules.
Yes.
They might vary by neighborhood or locale, but there are rules.
Everybody has a slightly different perception of what they are, but street fights...
Hey, none of that kicking stuff. None of that kicking stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them up. Get up off
stand
the
back
ground.
up,
Yeah,
I've seen that, but, like, there are rules. And eye gouging is almost definitely against them.
A lot of times we might be just fighting, and I might go like, boom, and it might remind him that, oh, I can do that too. Boom. Or it might entice the bystanders to attack. Now, I'll counter. This is probably what you already think. There is a time to dirty fight. There is a very, very clear-cut, this is when you should be dirty fighting. The best example would be if we end up in a clinch and we're 50-50, and Jake is pretty good and he kind of knows what he's trying to break my posture down, and I'm trying to break his posture down, and neither one of us is getting much of anywhere. And if I just do a little bit of eye thumbing and I get this, but then I immediately need to go back to fighting the right way. I can only use that. I know, you're breathing hard because you're saying don't do that.
Yeah. Because, like, it's just going to escalate from there. He's puts in my eye a little bit, I'm going to put in his eye a little bit harder, and suddenly one of us is going to go blind. I don't know who it is. It's a dangerous coin flip.
It's going to be the guy who practiced it less.
That's going to go blind?
Yeah.
How are you going to practice eye gouges?
We practice it all the time. Yeah.
Realistically, though?
Yes.
You just poke people in the eyes.
No.
Then it's not realistic. That's.
I think there's nothing wrong with having it in the toolbox. I agree that being overly reliant on it is a mistake. That is a pitfall that people.
That's an
run
obvious
into.
mistake.
I think that there's a time and a place for it. If it's unsupported by actual empty-handed skills, like real skills, like how to punch, how to kick, how to wrestle, if it's unsupported by that, you're not going to get a lot of mileage out of it. But I think a little sprinkled in a little bit here and there, because it will remind you to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I have practiced that. We practice that. We practice it with the fake heads. We practice it. We simulate it a lot. We have contingencies. We have plans for it. It's very difficult to find time to practice that. A lot of combat sports schools. An MMA program is going to prepare you better to fight people generally anyway than any of the programs that lean heavily on this dirty fighting stuff. Because if you're leaning heavily on this dirty fighting stuff, it's because you don't want to learn how to...
Anything that really advertises self-defense is usually not the best thing for self-defense.
Typically. And that sucks. That's what we advertise here. You know what I mean?
But that's not like self-defense. It's boxing, kickboxing, combat sports.
It's a thing you have to do it's a shorthand for explaining what you do to people.
Yeah.
But if a place says, we don't train sports, we only train self-defense, it's like, dude, then how do you get good at punching?
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
We say, we don't do combat sports, it only works in the street. That's a red flag.
You said usually.
Yeah.
That means you have an exception.
I think there is one obvious clear-cut time where you use dirty fighting, and that's when the fight is already escalated. Like if they're poking you in the eyes and kicking you in the nuts and trying to bite your arm, do it back. Like why would you not? You're trying to take the moral high ground to die? Just do it back. Or even if they're not doing that, but it is clearly a to the death fight.
Yeah.
Then like you can't escalate it past to the death.
Yeah, I think the problem though is I want to do it first. I get what you're saying. That's a very real thing. Against two people that don't train in this stuff and have not actually put thought and practice into the dirty versus not dirty stuff, eye gouging, biting, groin strikes, stuff like that. That's usually what happens. A guy will headbutt the other guy or do whatever, and the guy's like, oh, so it's going to be like that, huh?
Yeah.
And then you'll see it do it right back. You even see this in combat sports. A guy will do all move, like spinning attack. I do a spin kick. What is the guy going to do? He's going to do a spin kick right back at you. You know, you just reminded him that we can do that.
I'm almost positive I did that earlier in sparring.
Yeah,
exactly.
You get reminded that you can do that. It happens in real life too. My argument is that I want to be the first guy to do it and I want to have practice at it. And I think it's best used not when I'm losing. Because if you're losing, you need to be scrambling for position. You need to be trying to get up. You need to be trying to frame or fight back or whatever. But when things are sort of equal, I want to take the initiative because while it might remind you to do it, I'm taking the initiative. I remembered to do it. I thought to do it. That's what often happens when you have self-defense programs. They go to that first, right? I want to box you and wrestle you and do all that stuff. And then if things aren't going my way, be like, yeah, I know how to do that too. And then boom, and now I'm back to boxing. So say I just groin striked you, and then you're thinking, oh, now we're doing groin strikes, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm boxing you and wrestling you and doing my stuff. I want to do it first.
But that's the thing, like, if you've got that boxing and wrestling, you're gonna win anyway. Why?
I don't know.
Because then, like, best case scenario, you bust the guy's testicle, fight ends immediately, and the cops show up. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome until the cops show up and be like, yeah, that guy was easily controlling him, and then you just decided to make sure he never had children.
He doesn't know that.
It's different for me because I have a job now that I wouldn't lose if I got arrested for assaulting someone. In fact, it would probably help.
It would actually help.
But if you have like a job where you're not supposed to get arrested,
if you're
like
most people.
Yeah.
If you're anyone but him.
Yeah. I see that. I think it sort of plays, and that I have a little bit of insight into that. It doesn't really work that way. Assuming the cop investigating it's decent.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Cops can be stupid. Witnesses can be stupid.
Right.
And it depends on what you do.
Yeah.
Because like if you land a nut kick when you're both up striking, most witnesses can't even tell who's winning.
Yeah.
But like if you're on the ground and you take mount and the guy's trying to flail up, he can't hit you, and then you gouge his eyes out, you're going to prison.
Yeah.
You're going to prison.
If you have a dominant position, I totally agree that it's not the time to do that.
Right.
And if you are in a very, very, very terrible position, it's probably not going to help.
If you're in bottom mount, you're going to try and eye gouge their eyes. It's 100% not going to work, and then they're going to take your eyeballs right out of their
because you just reminded them.
Yeah, you just escalated the fight.
If there's a huge disparity in the positioning, and when I say positioning, that might also mean like who's getting slugged more. Just if there's a person clearly dominating the fight, I don't think it works well for either person. I like it when things are a little even and I need an edge. I'm getting tired. A guy that's younger than me and stronger than me is on top of me and he's holding me down and I'm fighting and I'm squirming and I got a knee shield and it's trying to work and then I just think, and he's trying to get head position and then I just went boom. The first thing I'm gonna get is which is space, which then will allow me to shrimp or maybe stand up or maybe hit back. He just disagrees that you should do it first.
Yeah, and the real reasons I don't like it for that is, one, and he's not making this argument, I've heard the argument a lot, it's like if you just do it first, you can blind him or kick his nuts and boom, like that's fight over. If you just do it first, you win the fight. Which no, because most of the time you're gonna miss. Most of anything doesn't work.
And I know where this comes from.
Yeah.
I know where this comes from. Here's the big problem. What do? They watch UFC, right? There's two guys standing like this.
Yeah.
Groin strikes are not allowed. So when you go to throw your inside leg kick, I'm not going to react as if it's a groin strike. I've been conditioned by my years and years and hundreds, maybe thousands of rounds of sparring where you're not trying to kick me in the groin, right? So my groin, I don't make any move to protect it.
Yeah.
So when you kick it, right? And I get hit in the groin, I'm wearing a cut. You can kick it. Boom. That hurt you, didn't it?
Hurt a little bit. I felt it.
Diamond MMA, right?
But you're not wearing a cup to Waffle House.
Here's
That's
what.
weird.
Why not? You don't? You go to Waffle House without a cup on?
Okay.
You are hardcore.
Waffle House, you should actually be wearing full ballistic armor, to be fair.
I wear the cups from Waffle House.
But so listen, here's the next thing they'll tell you. Oh, right. When a UFC fighter gets nailed in the groin, what does he do? He goes, and takes 5 minutes to recover. Do you know why he takes 5 minutes to recover?
Because he gets 5 minutes to recover.
Because he gets 5 minutes to recover. If he didn't, he wouldn't. How do we know this? Back in the Valley Tudo days, they would hit each other in the groin, knee me in the groin, and the guy would go, and he would still go back. Yeah, he would just grit his teeth and deal with it. So it's just a byproduct of the rule set. Mm-hmm. It's not because it ends fights.
Like if I got 5 minutes to recover anytime anyone did this, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I was tired anyway.
Oh man, like I just killed it was a nerve pinch, man. I don't know. But so one, like you're not gonna end a fight with it immediately. You're going to take it to a place where they're gonna know to do it back. And the problem there is like if I could try and eye gouge someone, it's not just that now they can eye gouge me, it's that now they're saying, okay, the stakes are no longer knockout or dominant position, the stakes are now blindness.
Yeah. We're not just fighting for dominance.
Right.
Like two idiots.
This is no longer like a pride in the bar thing. This is now someone is going blind. Someone is going to be maimed in this fight, and I would rather be knocked out than risk being blind. Like, I would rather just lose a fight. Now, if I think this guy is gonna kill me, okay, then escalate the fight as far as you think you need to. But like, if I know this is a guy that just wants to sit on top of me and hit me in the head for a few seconds, and then he's gonna be freaking satisfied.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
You have to analyze the situation.
I want to take those eyeballs out.